kept it so real that he stayed there 5 years. Literally, they didn't give him no assignments. He was in a copy room, walking people around, guests and shit for 5 years. And he was like, I'm done with this shit. It's some bullshit.
I want to be a social worker.
He said, I'd rather go back to Chicago, man. It was kind of weird seeing that because I'm like, they got tanks, guns, and all of these explosives. And these dudes from the hood is just, they taking advantage of angles, heights, and shit like that. They throwing grenades. They was ready for war. Freeman had them ready. What's up, y'all? I'm your host, Chris Ellis, and this is the main ingredient with Chris Ellis. Today, we got the lyrical assassin, the hip-hop artist from the Bay. He got everything on lit, everything on fire. The homeboy IZRELL. What's cracking, bro?
What's happening with it, man? You know what I mean?
It's been a minute since we met, man. What you been up to?
Shit, man, flying under the radar, man. Taking it light, man. You know, just at it, man, chipping at the brick wall, man. You know what I'm saying?
Brick wall, that's what's up.
Absolutely.
You always been working real hard, man. You know, so I know you've been real busy in the studios and doing your thing and stuff. So I appreciate you coming out and doing this podcast episode with me.
For sure.
So today we're here to talk about the Spook Who Sat by the Door. It came out in 1973. It was based off a novel written by Sam Greenlee in 1969. So 4 years previously, the book came out. It was directed by Ivan Dixon. It's starring Lawrence Cook as Dan Freeman, Janet Leigh as Joy, Paula Kelly as Dahomey Queen, J.A. Preston as Dawson, Paul Butter as Daddy Dean, David Lemieux as Pretty Willie. We're going to get into Pretty Willie. And the music was produced by the legendary Herbie Hancock.
Man, the soundtrack is crazy.
It don't get no better than Herbie Hancock, especially in the 70s. He was like in his bag. Watermelon Man and all that other stuff. He was in his bag back then.
For real.
And also, as a side note, the movie was added to the Library of Congress in 2012 because of its historical and social meaning to American culture. Because sometimes you don't appreciate shit till later. And I think when it came out back then, it was very controversial and people was kind of staying away from it. It was taboo. Now they realize how much ahead of its time it actually was.
Absolutely.
Because we in those times that he was trying to talk about back then.
Right.
So let's get into it. So we gonna get into it with the opening scene. So the opening scene, there's a white senator who's worried about his votes, the black vote.
Correct.
And he's talking to his two constituents, which is one was a black secretary and one was his wife, I think it was. And his wife brought up that why don't we blame the CIA on the reason why you can't get the black vote?
Correct.
So,
because he was like, I'm the only thing them people have.
Yeah.
Them people.
Okay. And he was trying to make himself seem like the messiah of black people. Like he coming to save black people. They brought up an idea to integrate the CIA. To make it look like, blacks on the rise and, we care. And like he did it for black people. He put them in the CIA. So I guess he talked with the deputy director of the CIA and they had a program where they was testing black people.
Correct.
To get the first CIA agent, the first black CIA agent.
Which happens to be named Daniel Freeman.
Yeah, Freeman.
Okay.
Freeman. That's a good point.
Okay.
So in the next scene, you see about 100 black men tested by the government. They testing the physical ability, mental ability, and, they're just taking them through the process of what it takes to be a CIA agent. But at the same time, they're laughing at them. They're showing scenes of the director and all them laughing at them like, none of these monkeys are going to make it.
Correct.
Talking big shit.
Right. But not the spook at the back of the door.
No. They knew that Freeman was different.
Right.
Like they was like, oh, he's passed all the physical tests. He's top 3 in his class and all the mental stuff.
But they caught on too late.
Because they would have got him out of there earlier had they known he might be the one that's going to make it.
When I looked at that movie and I was like, the spook who sat by the door, I'm like, okay, they called CIA agent Spook. So, and I was like, what does this sit by the door mean? And when I seen that, I didn't catch it the first time, but when I looked at it again, I was like, he was always in the back, like,
yeah,
by the door.
He was always there.
Yeah.
He was always there.
And it was like, it's to where they was in the front of the class, like, you know what I mean, trying to run their mouth and look cool. And and that's why they got at him like, what kind of time are you? Yeah. And he was like, I guess the same as you. I'll try to have it both ways. So.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because the next scene was the men came to Freeman's hotel room, because I guess they was staying in some type of dorm situation, and they was like, let's go out.
Yeah.
Freeman was like, nah, I'm good. I'm studying, blah, blah, blah. And one of the dudes was like, what type of time are you?
Yeah.
And then it got heated between them.
Yeah.
And he said something to the fact of, he told Freeman something to the fact of, you just won't be satisfied until all niggas is pushing brooms. And he said, like your mama.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah. Good.
That's when dude was like, we need to step outside.
Yeah.
So Freeman took off his glass. He said, I don't think you want to step outside. I really don't think you want that type of smoke.
Cause I kicked your ass.
That's exactly.
Kick your ass, baby.
Freeman was so confident in his hand-to-hand combat, he never stood up. He just looked at dude while dude stood up and was like, I would just kick your ass. I'm not here to be your partner. Cause that same dude who asked him to go out and said something about the broom stuff, that was the same dude when all 10 made it to the final 10. He was the same dude that said, as long as we all stick together and don't do too much, they're going to grade on the curve and keep all of us.
Correct.
He was worried he wanted everybody to get in.
Right.
Freeman understood the assignment was they only going to let one of us get in. So all of us being partners don't even make no damn sense.
Hey, he was like, I don't give a fuck who else is getting. I'm getting in.
Right.
I'm getting in.
He didn't
gonna make sure that I separate myself from you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he knew, and because if you go back to that little gathering when they was having drinks after they knew the final 10 made it, Freeman was the only one that wasn't saying nothing. Because I think at that point, Freeman knew, like, okay, this is CIA. We're in their building. They're filming us and they're listening to what we're saying. And he the only one that understood that.
CIA. That's
CIA.
what they do. That's easy work.
We in here talking about honkies and all this other shit in their building that they have tapped to the teeth.
And what was cold was they left him in a room full of alcohol.
Oh.
And it was like, we got the Chevez Rigo,
that was some cold shit right there, bro.
And that's what it is.
That was cold. They wanted to see who gonna gravitate towards the alcohol, who gonna get in there and get drunk, who gonna start running that mouth about the white man this, white man that. And all of them did exactly that except Freeman. He just stood back there. They showed him in the camera like this. He didn't say nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I'm gonna let y'all play y'all selves out of this situation.
And he don't look like he looks unassuming. Got the nerdy glasses on, so he don't even look like he's about what he's about. Motherfucker was buying pussy.
Nobody knew.
The CIA knew.
The CIA was on it.
I tripped.
They knew exactly who was getting pussy, bro.
Because you just tripped me out when you said the Dahomey Queen, and I was like,
the homie queen.
I was like, damn, they never even gave her a name.
Yeah, he gave her that name.
Yeah,
he literally gave her her character name.
Yeah, you look like a queen from Dahomey. That when you got the accent, you know what I mean. When you said that, was you jiving me?
Yeah. She thought he was jiving her, but nah, he was like, nah. In Africa, you remind me of somebody. I got a picture, and I could actually show you that you look like this chick.
Hey.
But he gave her that name. And that was her. When I went through the list of characters and the character names, I'm like, oh shit, the homie queen. So damn, they just stuck with that name that he gave her. Like,
hey man, when he first had her and told her about it, she had hair. The next time you seen her, she had a bald.
Oh, she was bald. You right.
Cause he said that's what the Dahomey Queen looked like.
Yeah.
I was
he
like,
put her on game.
Hey man, he was effective. And she believed him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he put her on. But so we get to the scene where the CIA starts training all the men with explosives, gunplay, dive, and stuff like that. And that's when we see the CIA director and one of his cronies, another white guy, talking that shit about Freeman. Like, we got to do something about him. He the
Right.
only one that's showing
He's gonna pass.
he gonna pass.
Yeah.
There's no way he gonna fail. He's not gonna let himself fail.
And dude was like, how did we not, he said something like, how did we not catch on to him or something?
Correct.
And he was like, he has a way of fading to the back.
Yeah. Yeah. Which we saw in that first group of 10, he was faded in the back, which was kind of dope because you would have thought that since he's the star of the movie, they'd have put him somewhere in the middle or in the front of that scene with them by that bar. He in the back.
By the door, bro. He's in the back by the door.
In the back like this. Hear what they got to say. Knowing that they're being taped and listened to. He's knowing all this shit because he understands the CIA, what they do. He understands that. He has sex with the prostitute, named the homie Queen. And the 1973 prices for ass was cheap. She said $15 and $5 for the motel.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
1970.
You can't talk to a prostitute out here with $20, man.
$20, bro.
With $100, you can't talk to a prostitute.
And she was top shelf. She wasn't like a dope fiend or nothing.
It was like Thelma for Good Times almost, man. Fine, man.
Yeah, and that's where he gives her the name, the homie Queen, where he says she reminds him of an African queen. And he also offers to show her pictures when they meet up again of the queen.
Right.
And like you said, the next time she bald headed. So she kind of listened. She was paying attention to what he was saying once she realized he wasn't bullshit. He didn't have no reason to bullshit. He paying for the ass.
You know what was dope about that? Like, because we talk about that all the time about how you shoot shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
We never seen him show her the picture.
Never.
We just seen something must have happened because she was bald headed the next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We seen them together.
Yeah.
That was, hey man.
Yeah.
How they was shooting them movies back in the days, bro.
I know. They had to be very creative because they had limited budget.
Right.
Hollywood was against them. This is black exploitation time, so they wasn't really trying to let us make great movies.
You think they'll redo it?
Nah, I don't. Nah.
I wonder why. You know?
Nah.
I wouldn't want them to redo it because I feel like they would lose the magic.
It would lose the magic. But you got to remember, this movie, they did not want this shit to come out.
Correct.
So in 1969, I was doing my research in 1969, when the writer was trying to get the book published, no American publisher would do it. He had to go to London and get it published. It blew up in London. Then they made the screenplay movie out here. And the FBI only let it run for about 2 months and they shut it down in all theaters. Same shit they did with NWA. Yeah. They did the same thing, sent out the cease and desist letters. And if you keep playing this movie, we're going to shut down your business and all this stuff. The theaters shut it down.
Right.
So that's how controversial this movie actually was for that time.
Right.
Because remember, we coming out of 68 riots, 69 riots all over the country.
Right.
Watts, Oakland, Boston, Chicago. So what they was thinking was that this movie would spark that again in the 70s.
You know it to do it right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
If they did it right now.
They were actually scared of revolution. All that shit Gil Scott-Heron was talking about, the revolution won't be televised. They were scared of that shit.
Listen, man. It's one of my favorite
Gil
artists
Scott,
right there, man.
Gil Scott said a long time ago.
Man. You know, he
stayed on that tip. Like, this is, y'all better pay attention. Wake up. Like, we talk now about this whole woke culture. He been telling people to wake the fuck up.
It's different to just talk the shit, but it's when you're affected. They scared of like a system, like you coming up with a system where it could work.
Yeah,
like in that movie, they when it was talking about the when the CIA was showing them how to use materials and shit. Mm-hmm. They was using materials that you can use from your kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, like shit that you can get at the store that's not detected. You're not buying explosives or you know what I mean?
That MacGyver shit.
Yeah,
make a car out of cans.
Man. Yeah, I mean explosives out of chewing gum, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, that shit crazy, man. That movie right there, man. it's kind of like a must watch.
It kind of is a must. It's almost like it ain't even just a must watch for black people. I think all colors should watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's dealing with oppression, it's dealing with politics, it's dealing with what the CIA was actually about back then.
Correct.
Which was doing all the surveillance on black people. Mostly black people wasn't even doing nothing to bother them.
Right.
Like they were surveilling the fucking Black Panthers and Martin Luther King.
Right.
They wasn't worried about the CIA. They was worried about feeding their own people.
Well, the shit is, it was wicked when you really think of it in terms of the reason why that they was the senator or whoever in the beginning of the movie was doing that because segregation had just ended.
Yes.
So now it's like we as a people, we ain't even got our feet up underneath ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like y'all doing other shit and creating these laws, and it's just like, damn. I was looking at Wag the Dog.
Okay.
So it's like if you're a person that's watching old school movies like Scarface, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit, you need to be watching Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Definitely.
But not only that, Wag the Dog, you turn me on to that. That's what's going on right now. That's what's going on right the fuck now. And it's really about being effective, like down to movie making.
Yeah.
I can appreciate people that make movies that has not just a message but a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like
artistically, there were parts of the movie that could have been better, but I always as a filmmaker keep in mind the time it was made and the budget they had. They didn't have a budget. This is a black film, man. They was basically scraping money out their pockets to get these movies done. So they didn't have Warner Brothers pictures and Touchstone pictures to do these movies. So you're going to have some continuity issues. You're going to have some camera angles that could have been better. I don't worry about that when it comes to movies from that time because the message is more important than actually what it looked like. You know what I'm saying?
Because they got movies nowadays like they didn't have a special effect.
Correct.
And so it's like they have movies with special effects that's not good as that movie.
That's true.
And when you
Fast and Furious is one of them.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I mean, it was just horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was talking to my homie. I was saying I like how Rob Zombie shoots some of his movies. Like, he doesn't show. Like when he did Halloween, he did a scene where the camera was on the floor and the lady was on the floor, so the camera's on the floor facing her like that.
With her parallel on the floor.
Boom. So now you got Michael Myers with the knife like this, and the camera's shooting up like that, and you see the knife come down, then it shows back to her on the floor, and then it just show her face shape. So you seeing the impact of it, but you're never seeing the knife go into it.
Right.
And so my homie was like, yeah, back in the day, they had to shoot like that because they couldn't show gore.
No, not at all.
And so that made me think about like Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock.
Like, Psycho, that was a spooky ass movie right there, but you never seen the knife go in. You know what I'm saying?
No.
For the famous shower scene, shit horrified me, man. You know what I mean?
Because as an independent filmmaker, you just got to figure out ways to get shit done without disrupting the infrastructure of filmmaking to where you won't be able to make it in the theaters and stuff like that, especially back then.
Right.
Especially back then. So I appreciate when I watch these movies from the 70s, the blaxploitation films, I appreciate them in a different light than films of now because I know what they had to go through.
Right.
Just to get the shit done. And then you get hated on when it's done. Nobody want to show it in the theater, or they fucking talk bad about it. So nobody want to go see it. Like it's instant hate because you made a black film.
Right. You know,
so just getting this film done was a huge accomplishment. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
It was a huge accomplishment.
And then it's in to get it green lighted for the time that it did get green.
Yes.
For it. You know what I'm saying?
For that time. The CIA, one of the guys from the CIA is interviewing the homie Queen about Freeman. And she basically telling him he a solid dude, top to bottom. But what's interesting and maybe we can touch on this. They kept asking, was he a homosexual? Like, what the fuck difference would that make? You understand what I'm saying? Like, he asked her like 3 times. He sleeps with women? Yeah, he sleeps with women. He good in bed? Yeah, he good. The woman tell him he a solid dude. Yeah, heterosexual man. But his last question was like, but is he a homosexual? It was like, that was such a big thing back then.
Yeah, because
even though that shouldn't make you a worse agent. Like, what would that have to do with you being a CIA agent?
Yeah, because that was going into the AIDS era.
True.
You know what I mean? Like that was going towards that whole little thing. Like, man, just with the 70s, I was tripping off of, like, even down to the music. Like how we talk about Herbie Hancock and how he produced that shit. And we know from when we were getting there, you know what I mean? We didn't have the technology, so they had to go in there and get that shit done. Like,
that's true.
One take.
On one take.
So the like, think about like Marvin Gaye songs. Like, he's singing that shit from front to back, bro.
Yeah.
Ain't no take. How does that sound? No. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like,
they got one reel of tape, and that's it.
That's it. Imagine, like, when we was fucking with it, was like, you record over something, and if you fucked up, you had to go back and race with you record over that again. And you can't do that hella times because now you fucking quality.
Yeah, right. Because it was analog.
That was the difference. Have your shit ready when you come to the studio.
Have it ready. We was real big on that. That's one thing I can say is back in the day, even though we were younger and we weren't considered professional because none of us had professional recordings out, we took it that way. We treated it that way.
Right.
So everybody had their raps ready. The beat was ready.
You gotta have it.
It was already, you know, we knew what the chorus was gonna be.
Right.
You know, we took it serious. So it's something to say about somebody who takes stuff that serious. Like Freeman took what he was trying to do serious.
Hell yeah.
And that leads to the CIA. Now he makes it through, and he's the final one. He wins the contest of being a CIA agent, I guess. They put this fool in the mailroom. He in the mailroom making copies. They only brought him out to walk people around the facility so they can see it's a black person in the building. Ain't that about a bitch?
But that was the whole purpose. That was, like, again, that goes back to that word being effective.
Yeah.
We don't need a bunch of them running around.
Yeah.
We just need one.
We just need one.
Because
to show face.
Yeah, perception is everything.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, they come through the door and the black dude answered the door and, oh, okay, yeah, well, they're integrated for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just a fact. You know what I mean?
But that was crazy, though, like, because you seen him win and get through it. And then the very next scene, he making copies in the damn copy room. He made this man learn explosives, gunplay, diving, all these fucking special activities to learn how to kill shit. And you put him in the damn copy room.
And so that's what I'm saying. And so it's just like, imagine the level of humbleness he had to have.
Yeah.
To walk that whole play thing.
Yeah.
Like, he stayed with it. Like, you know, I don't give a fuck I don't give a fuck who passed this class. I'm going to pass. Right. I don't give a fuck where y'all put me. I'm going to work. Because you remember the lady was like, everybody's talking about how great of a job that you do.
Yeah, the white lady that walked him down. Yeah.
Giving him the gems.
Yeah.
She's taking him behind the camera.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's being effective.
But in his mind, because he says it somewhere in the movie, in his mind, he always still seen himself as the nigga in the CIA. He never saw himself as a part of them.
That's just, that's called keeping it real with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
He kept it real with himself.
Yeah.
And he kept it so real that he stayed there 5 years.
Right.
Doing nothing. Literally, they didn't give him no assignments. He was in a copy room, walking people around, guesting shit for 5 years. And he was like, I'm done with this shit. It's some bullshit.
I want to be a social worker.
He said, I'd rather go back to Chicago, man. Where it's hella murders. I'd rather go back to the hood and be a social worker, which we found out later he was basically lying about. He never became a social worker. Not how they thought he was. Because remember, when he shook the CIA director's hand when he left, he said out his own mouth, I'm about to go show black people how to act, how to be like me. So the white dude was like, yes, you can show them the way. So he thinking that he gonna go back to Chicago and make a black utopia.
He was looking at him like, I don't give a fuck where you go. Get the fuck out of this office.
He was happy.
We never wanted you in here anyway. And if you want to leave, I'll sign whatever to get you out the door.
Yeah, he just wanted him out of there. He wanted him out of there from the very beginning. He didn't want him in from the beginning, but even when he got in, he was just like, we just got to figure out a way to get him up out of there. What's weird, now I'm going to get to another character, his college girlfriend, Joy. The problem I had with Joy, I only got one nitpick in this movie. I feel like her character didn't really serve a purpose. He was knocking her down the whole movie. It's like 3-4 scenes where they was having sex. She was married at one point in time to a doctor, a whole nother dude. He was smashing still.
That's what is it the doctor?
Yeah, he said, is he a doctor? Yeah, he a doctor. Well, I'm still gonna hit it. To the point to where when she officially broke up with him and said, I'm getting ready to get married to the doctor, blah, blah, blah. He said, well, let's go out with a bang. He took that wig off and he smashed again. It's like, that's what I'm saying. So I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. You had a female interest with the homie Queen, who really had an important part. She was dropping gems, and Joy didn't really have an important part in his life that made a difference in what he was trying to do, like the homie Queen did.
No. So now you got to look at it like this.
She was just the college sweetheart that they couldn't let each other go. They couldn't let matter of fact, his partner Dawson said that. He's like, y'all just can't leave each other alone. Huh? He's like, no, I guess not.
What I feel about that when you put it like that is, her purpose was it has to be a negative and a positive.
Okay.
In society, Joy was what he's supposed to be fucking.
Correct.
That's his high school. But really, the homie Queen is the one who would really fuck.
Yeah.
Because she said, if I would get in some stuff, I think he'd be there.
Yeah, she did say that. Bingo. She told the CIA guy that.
So look at that like when you see Dead President. Remember, he was messing with that sister.
Was a young sister.
Bingo.
Yeah, the baby sister.
Yeah, the negative and the positive.
Yeah.
And then you see.
But how is she a positive real if she was fucking with, she was married?
She was the negative.
Oh, she was a negative. Okay, I thought you meant she was the positive.
Homie Queen was the positive.
Oh, okay. We on the same page.
Because she didn't rat him out. She said he was solid.
Yeah.
The high school sweetheart wasn't supposed to rat him out, and she did.
She did. In the end, she did.
You see,
and I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm like, I'm smashing you this whole time you married. Clearly, you love me to some extent, and you dine me out. That's how this shit is. Like, and I didn't see that coming.
Jezebel, man.
I did not see that coming, and I don't know where that came from for her to do that to him, because she seemed to be down for him. No matter what he was doing in life, she was gonna always be there for him. So I didn't see where that came from, where she would just do him like that. Like, that kind of didn't make no sense to me.
He starts spooking her. And
when he started really getting into
remember, he had to catch himself, like, and so she's a square. She like, what's getting into him. He start talking like this. And they show how, like, it always, women and brought down, like, empires and shit.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I was gonna say that with this, but when you think about it, the thing about this movie that makes it a great movie, or to me, the champ of like black people movies, or the ultimate militant shit, because we won.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, it was still going on.
That's what scared. I think that's what scared the FBI and CIA.
You're not gonna get that.
He had them winning at the. If the black people got slaughtered, they'd been like, play this movie everywhere. That's not what happened at the end of this movie.
Listen, you give that type of thought to these youngsters now.
Yeah.
We talking mass chaos and confusion. You know what I'm saying?
Unstoppable.
Because it's like, again, it's about how they perceive it. they could not even really get the message all the way. They could just look at it and just, you know how you skim through a book and be like, I know what it's talking about.
Yeah.
They'll do that.
But you really
shit.
don't.
All they get from this shit is, hey man, we need to go break into the army base and go steal a crate full of AK.
Right.
We out here.
Now, you know what's crazy was like he worked for the CIA for 5 years in the copy room, took all that punishment. I would say more mental abuse, because nobody really never did nothing to him. He left, went to Chicago. He told them he was going to Chicago to help black people, which should have been a positive. The director still told his crony, we got to watch him, keep surveillance on him. That's fucked up, bro. He been your slave for 5 years, a good slave, tells you he's going to teach the black people how to be good slaves, and you still don't trust him. He was like, oh, we gotta keep eye on him.
That stems from you slipped past us the first time, you motherfucker.
That's a good point.
Now it's just like hoop. Now you made the scouting report.
Right.
You had that good game.
You put 50 on the board. We watching you now.
Yeah, we talking about you like Ant-Man. You went and did that. Even Dallas, like, y'all. Oh no.
Gotta watch it.
It won't be like that.
Yeah. New scouting report. So now the next scene, they're at the pool hall. He's at the pool hall, playing solo by himself, and with Pretty Willie and Dean comes in there, and they kind of like check him, like, you can't be on our table, blah blah blah. And he just like,
you gotta leave,
or whatever. And say, yeah, they called him a social, which means they was kind of up on who he was and what he was trying to do. And he basically like, nah, I'm not going nowhere. I want to say he brought up, let's take this to the alley.
Yeah.
And the white dude was like, no, you need to go that way, out the front door. He's like, nah, we need to go to the alley. He put the stick down. He walks out there, but he immediately gets in a fighting stance behind it. He tucks, gets down. He ready to whoop 3 motherfuckers' asses right then and there. They walk out. He kicks their ass by himself, pulls a gun on the last dude. And on the last dude, he was like, the last dude started talking shit like, oh, you ain't fighting fair. Next time when we got a gun, we'll see.
You got your piece. We gonna have our piece next time.
So this is kind of where the pivot changes, because he says, instead of y'all out here doing all this wild shit, basically, I can teach you how to do what you need to do to take over the government, basically.
And you seen what I just did to you 3 motherfuckers.
Easily.
I could have killed all 3 of y'all in the alley.
Could have murdered them in the alley. Nobody would even care. Because nobody came outside to help him. The pool hall was full of people. Them 3 dudes could have been stomping his head in. Nobody came outside to see what had happened.
It's crazy that nobody went out. Well, he did it real slick. So I was about to say, because nowadays, you know, motherfuckers would have been out there just to put their phones up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. Nowadays, yeah, they've been putting their phones up.
But again, I like the whole shit down to the name, of the character, Daniel Freeman. He proved to show humbleness when he needed to. He stayed focused, and he was strategic about the shit, because he had to know what pool hall to go to.
That's true. That's a good point.
You had to know what pool hall to go to. What table is they table?
Yeah. What you're saying is he had this plan all the way from the beginning.
Absolutely. Because think about it. He walked it all the way down.
That's deep.
Okay, saying, like, you have to think, at what point did he say in his personal life, I'm going to be a CIA? And know that's the way to go. You know what I mean? How did you know that they were even hiring black people? You know what I'm saying? And then for you to be a fucking like 3rd degree black belt, and they don't even fucking know that.
Right.
You come in there and beat the motherfucking instructor ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he trying to bully him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't like your kind.
He straight up told him that too.
Yeah, we don't like your kind. And when he graduated, that was the dude that was on the side. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, so for him to get his black belt, go for the CIA shit, humble himself, work in the mailroom, quit that, Faye go be a social worker, go to the motherfucking pool hall and be on the table. You know what I mean? That's a lot of motherfucking.
That's a lot of moves.
Yeah, it's a lot of studying.
A lot of chess moves.
Yeah, it's a lot of studying. Yeah, you doing your due diligence. Yeah. You know, and for it to be working.
Right, everything worked.
Yeah,
everything worked.
Yeah,
because he eventually, the same dudes he got into it, he eventually trained them and several other dudes from the hood on hand-to-hand combat, explosives, building bombs, MacGyver style, gunplay. Just he trained them all how to do all the shit that he learned in the CIA. You know what I'm saying? So he was true about his word when he first got into it in the alley, telling them like, "I'm gonna show you how to do this the correct way."
Right? Because
he knew that if you're not properly trained, you're gonna get slaughtered out there by the military.
You know what's another dope thing? Like, since we talking about it, like I like that we talking about it because it's kind of like when you look at a movie, you see different shit from different angles.
Yeah.
So now we talking about it and I'm playing it in my mind. But you know where he went wrong?
Where?
Trust his closest people. Think about chick,
joy. Yeah.
Those are the people that's not supposed to cross you whatsoever.
And there was one point in the movie where he told one of the freedom fighters that the military also has people that look like them. You got to be willing to kill them. You might have to kill another black man to help black people, and you cannot flinch.
Yeah.
He is the opposition. He is the enemy. He's working with the white man, quote unquote, and he got to go just like another white military dude. And he was like, the moment you flinch, I'm going to kill you. You got to be down for the cause.
You ever kill a man, Willie? I have.
I have.
He let him know. You ever kill a man, Willie? I have. He didn't even wait on him to answer it. Like, nigga, I know you ain't killed nobody.
Now, peep this. Now, we gonna really get into this because this is the one that it even fucked my wife up. She saw me rewatching the movie and asked me about this. Pretty Willie. A clear white man, blue eyes, the whole shit, thought he was a black African man. He had the tribe shit on his wall, fucking spears and shit on his wall, because Freeman took one off the wall, was playing with it and shit like that. Him and Freeman got into it because Freeman wanted him to be the propaganda person, you know. He basically understood what Freeman was the position Freeman was trying to put him in because he was white. He goes off on a tangent talking about, I'm a nigga just like you. The police gonna shoot me in the back of my head because I'm a nigga just like you. And the whole time I'm going, does he think he's white because he's hanging with black people? Or is he like Creole?
I think he was mixed.
Keep it real. Did he look mixed, man? He looked like a white dude. But here's my thing. When I've seen Creole people or people that is mixed,
but they can curly.
Something is different that make you go, they might have some black in them. This dude had straight hair, blue eyes. He looked clearly like white. And that's what messed up my wife when she walked by and I was watching. She was like, why is this dude got on a dashiki and a damn kufi and shit like that? Like, I said, baby, I don't know, but I'm about to get into this because I need to find out, does he actually think he's black or is he black? Because there's a difference if he was black. Let's say, you know, he like a Drake, but even Drake looks black. Drake looks like a black man, just light skinned. This dude didn't look like a black man. He looked like a straight up white dude. So it was weird watching him say, I'm a nigga like you and I'm going to get shot in the back. Okay, so let's just, the elephant in the room. You don't look like a black man, so the police wouldn't even treat you the same way. That's what got Freeman mad. Like, you're not even understanding. You don't even look like me.
Right. If anybody's going to get in, it's going to be you.
Even if you got black ancestors somewhere in your DNA, you still look like a white man.
I think that's what his thing was. Like, y'all motherfuckers don't know my great grandfather.
That's what it was. That's a good point.
Mike. And so, because it's like,
maybe somewhere down the line, somebody was black in his family.
Yeah.
And they passed that lineage on to him and he took it to heart. But he was still not understanding that visually he looks like a white person. So a policeman would not treat him the same way as everybody else. And that's what was during that conversation. That's what him and Freeman was really getting into it about. He was seeing himself as a chocolate black man. And Freeman was like, no, you doing the propaganda part of this, all of this, because you a white person. You can get away with the bullshit.
Yeah.
He didn't want that type of smoke though. He wanted to get treated just like every other dark skinned dude.
Yeah, that I'm in the struggle. You see me with a dashiki.
Yeah.
Hey, back in the day, I had a girl that I was messing with, and all my friends, when I would bring her to the block, they was like, "Oh, you got the white girl," but it was like her daddy was black, but he was mixed with white.
Oh,
so he was like an Elder Bars looking motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
But her mama was blonde hair, blue eye.
So she looked white.
Bingo.
Okay, got you. Okay.
But her daddy, I met her daddy. Her daddy was black.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Just a yellow dude.
Got
you. Know what I'm saying? So, like, I be thinking about that with.
So you saying there is situations where somebody can look 100% white
and be
black,
and she only like black dudes.
Yeah, she only fuck with her brother.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But when we would see her in that white girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you brutally honest. Like,
that's Molly, huh?
That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, with dude though, it was crazy how at that scene when he blew up on him like that, the next scene you seen it with the Wally in his hand. Like,
yeah.
He was effective again. He got just like the Dahomey Queen. The next time we seen her, she was bald headed.
Yeah.
The next time we seen Willie, he had a gun in his hand.
Yeah.
Pulling off whatever heist they was going. You know
Willie was with the shit.
Right.
He was fully with the shit. And I think his thing was more of a respect thing. Like, you gonna respect me like you respect the dark skinned brother.
That's it. Don't treat me different.
Don't treat me different because I look like I'm white.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm in the struggle with y'all. I'm willing to die with y'all. What Willie wasn't understanding was like, to the world, you're a white man. So the police will not fuck with you the same way they fuck with your contemporary. It just wouldn't happen because visually you just don't look the part.
But sometimes you have a situation like that where white people might, I'm not saying that they look at it like that, but he could be stuck in the middle. Us as black people, we like, white, you're a white.
Yeah, we just put him as white. Yeah.
Boom. No, the white people look, no, you've been tampered with. You got nigga in you a little bit.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying? And,
so he is in the middle.
Yeah, and they'll treat you like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Got you.
I believe that they, like, in them time, because, like, when you think about it, my mother, when she was in school, they had just had segregation, like they ended.
Right.
But she was saying she used to be chased home by white, like,
I believe.
Yeah, so
I believe.
So you got to think about.
And my parents were fully in segregation.
You see what I'm saying? So,
fully.
So now think about the average white person in that age group.
Mm-hmm.
So if my mother was getting chased by
white boys
after school, that means like people in her age group came up in segregation and they came up with that type of thing.
Yeah.
That's how teachers.
Yeah.
The average white lady came up like in that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when
the white teachers we would have had as little kids,
bingo,
up in that.
Bingo.
Got you.
And their kids is teaching our.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
That's deep.
So, but you have some that's not with that type of thinking, and they like, we not fucking.
Yeah.
I'm a nigga too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now you got Mexicans, Asians, everybody saying nigga.
Right.
Because they
even white boys.
Yeah, that's
white
what
boys are saying it.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not, they not looking at it like the slave meaning.
It's a term of endearment.
I'm rebellious. I fuck with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So shit is crazy, man.
Yep. So now we get into where he reconnects with another college friend, Dawson,
right,
who is not really explained what he does, but we know he works with the police. I don't think he's a policeman though. He don't got on a badge or nothing. I think he's working within the department or something.
I think he was a big dog.
Okay, one of the big dogs. Okay.
Yeah, he was a big dog.
He's working with the police to help simmer down the black folks that are tripping off police, shooting black people, blah, blah, blah. So when they reconnect, he's assuming that Freeman is on some community positivity shit.
Right.
He has no fucking idea.
Right. That this is the guy.
This is the dude who they called in the movie the Tom.
Right.
They all looking for the Tom who's trying to flip this shit upside down. At least to me, it's unclear whether Freeman and Dawson felt the same way when they're in college, or during their separation, Freeman started feeling a certain way about the government and Dawson started feeling a certain way about the government. Because it seemed like at some point in time, they were the same type of dude.
That's why he said, I haven't heard you talk like that since high school.
Correct.
Yeah. You know, I think they was both young, militant, because again,
segregation, right.
So we in this together.
Right.
You know what I mean? When we separate, we got our own ideas about how we could make it work.
Right.
And Dawes, I feel he went that route, and that was the time, because the dude that asked Daniel Freeman in the beginning, what kind of time are you?
Right. What kind? Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind
he was
time,
like, I
right.
guess I'm the same as you. He said, none of us want to picture our own militancy, would we? He was like, I guess the same as you, but I just don't try to have it both ways.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fucking him up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're the biggest time in this motherfucker. Right. You know what I mean? And so
that shit was deep.
Yeah. So it was just a lot of lugs up in that movie, and you'd be like, damn.
So Freeman is now at this point, after meeting with Dawson, they have their little meet up. Hey, it's good to see you, blah, blah, blah. Freeman is actually organizing other groups. I think they were called the Cobras.
Yeah.
In the Freeman, the Freedom Fighters.
The Cobras was when they was in the pool.
Right. So he's organizing them. He's having different organizations across different cities.
Bingo.
He's talking to some of his dudes that's under him, and they saying, no, we got some dudes in Boston. We got some dudes over here, New Orleans. Like, they got hitters in New Orleans. So he's really, upscaling everything he's trying to do to a faster rate to get it done. Right. It still feels like at this point of the film, he doesn't know when he's going to press that button.
Right.
Like you still don't really know when this shit is about to happen.
Right.
But you can see it's boiling now. It's boiling, and he's getting kind of closer to the top. He even strategized to where they all knew that if the leader got killed, everybody slides up in place. If I'm gone, the next up, you the leader now. Everybody goes up and up and up.
That's how the army do it.
That's how the army do it, because he understood that they're going to pick people off from the top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to go in for my head first.
Right.
So people got to be able to lead, which means you got to know what your leader does for you to become the leader.
Right.
Which means at some point in time, he must have taught them pretty much everything that he knows so they can take over just in case he gets killed.
Correct.
Like you said, similar to the military.
Right.
You got to know what the general doing for you to be the damn general.
Right.
It was kind of dope in that way, seeing that. But then we get to a part where they steal a bus. They bring it to a military base. I'm assuming it's in Chicago. We don't really know, but I'm assuming it's Chicago. And they bring it to the military base. They take all these weapons and shit and AKs and, M16s and all this other stuff. And they take it back to their hideout. And now they celebrate because they feel they have the advantage now. Because they already highly trained by a CIA agent. Now they got the weaponry to understand it, to understand that they can fight fire with fire. Because the same military people that rolled through Chicago with the tanks had the same guns that they have now. So now it's more of a fair fight. The difference is they've been trained by a CIA agent. Because if you notice, when the military came through there, they mowed them motherfuckers down like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
Like it was simple. Because he taught them about angles, get on top of the roof, elevated positions, how far the distance the bullet travels. Like he was giving them game that even some of the military dudes probably didn't even understand.
Right. part about that, so when we talk about directing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next time I see the movie, it's gonna make me zero in on how did y'all get access to that bass like that? Like,
I don't know.
Who turned y'all on? Because
Right.
that's a hell of a move.
That's a hell of a move.
Like you do that.
That's
now,
the move that changed the war around because they got the weaponry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's a hell of a leap, right?
That's a part of, like I said, when you making movies on your own, and you, especially in the 70s, you don't have the funds to put in everything to play it out. That's a part that if they had the money, they could have showed you how they got to connect in there, whether it's through a woman, a junkie.
That's what I'm saying. If y'all had enough time to throw the negative chick in there, y'all should have showed something, or maybe we just didn't pick up on it. That's why.
Instead of showing 4 times where he's smashing the negative chick, they could have shown one scene
like
with them getting the end on the military base.
Bingo.
Because we don't know how that even happened.
Bingo. Like, yeah, in hindsight, now you got me thinking about it. It's like, how did y'all get that lit?
Yeah. How did you get it? And that's the whole point of this podcast is to show you that even great movies have flaws. Yeah, sometimes the flaws come down to the screenwriting, and sometimes it comes down to the budget, and sometimes it comes down to the time it was made. 1973, they might not have been as critical on every aspect of a movie like we are now.
Right.
So it might have just been something that they didn't think was a big deal. Hey, we just going to take over a military base. 2024, you having a conversation about how the hell y'all even get the end on the military base.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Could you explain that?
Right. Yeah, we just poking holes in the web, but
yeah, it's just petty stuff, but
yeah,
it matters.
Now, so this is what I will say that I dig about that whole shit is because I look at that like when I do my music. You know what I mean? You know how some motherfuckers just, they perfection. You know what I mean? Like they talk about like Dre and Eminem, like they they would like, how you say one word like just a million times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Perfectionist.
Yeah. So that's cool. The bottom line is, me and you seen this, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got message.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I remember my dude told me some shit like a while ago, man, when I was trying to do this song, and he said, you always want to walk away knowing that you got the job done. Yeah. He was like, the job done means that they can listen to that song one time and know what the fuck you talking about. Yeah. If they could remember certain shit in the song, that's great. But for the most part, I should be able to play a song to you and you know. And when I leave, you could tell wifey, hey, that nigga Real came over here, he played the song. It's called Spend the Night. You know what I mean? So although the director didn't let us know how the fuck they got in that bass, the message is still there.
Oh yeah, the message is still there.
The message is still there. So is it really important?
It's probably not. And I think
I'm just a stickler. Like, I want to know how you go. I want to go from A, B to C to D all the way down to Z. Like,
it's probably not important.
It's more important than the bitch putting the wig on, taking it off.
Oh my God!
So I don't know if the director's still living. I like to bump into
no,
him.
Directors go. Matter of fact, the only person that's still alive, if I'm not mistaken, is Dawson.
Really?
Dawson like almost 90. I think everybody else is gone. Like literally gone. The
director,
character, the main, everybody. I think Dawson is the only one that's alive. And he like right at the end. And a lot of them people been gone for years. Like, they've been gone.
Yeah.
You know, because it's 1973. So anybody that was in their 40s and 50s back then, they gone.
Yeah, I was about to say they was grown.
Yeah, they was grown back then. So they out of here. So now we get to the police is chasing a young black man through an alley.
Gun him down.
They gun him down. Honestly, that's kind of how policing used to be. They didn't really chase you down. If they chase you enough to an open area where they can shoot you in the back, police used to shoot people in the back. That was like normal policing back then. Which was, if you think about it in 2024, that's crazy. I'm running from you because I'm selling drugs. Okay, cool. That's illegal. You're trying to catch me. But since you can't catch me, you're going to shoot me in the back 50 yards away?
That's why they say freeze.
That's how they used to do people.
Hey, stop or I'll shoot.
That's exactly.
Nowadays, they not saying that.
They don't say that.
Yeah,
that'll get your ass in a whole lot of trouble.
But you know what's crazy? Like, I'm thinking about
stop or I'll shoot.
Like how we was saying Doss and Danny had to be like this at a certain point.
Yeah, they had to be.
Right? But when that popped off, he was like, he's gonna start over a jive ass drug dealer. You know what I mean? That's how he looked at that. That's how
he really did look at it that way.
That's how he looked at that, and Danny wasn't looking at it like that.
And in 2024, that equals a punk ass nigga.
Come on,
all
bro.
will start over a punk ass nigga.
You feel me? But he whipped out pistol when they brought the dog.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he wasn't playing about them dogs.
Yeah, he was like, get them dogs up out of here, and whipped out. So
yeah, he was not. Dawson was about that life too. The problem I had with Dawson was like he was on the fence because he wanted to help his people, but he didn't understand that what Freeman was trying to do was what actually was going to help his people.
Right.
All that fucking kumbaya, we shall overcome shit. It's never worked for black people.
Right.
That has never, history has shown.
If they'd have worked together, it would have been phenomenal.
Thank you. It would have been really great. Because Dawson would have been on the inside, giving that good inside information. They would have been able to conquer the world that way. But Dawson, like I said, he played defense. Dawson really wanted to help his people, but he was on the side that really couldn't help his people. He was with the wrong team.
That was wrote kind of cleverly right there when you think about it, because when you watch the movie, it sends you on a roller coaster.
It does.
And it's like, is Dawes gonna help?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the way up to the end, you like, is he gonna help?
Is he gonna help? Yeah.
What was dope about it was he played a part in getting it through Pretty Willie and them mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the fuck I'm talking.
Yeah.
This is how serious I am about this shit. This is what's gonna happen. What can happen. What will happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on. Before we get to that part, when the young teen gets shot, that's when we see Dawson and Freeman have a serious argument in the car about what actually is cracking off here in these streets.
Yeah.
And Freeman trying to tell him, dude, you gotta pick a side, man.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be out here playing cop, but you trying to be on my side at the same time. So they have a real black man argument as friends, but a real argument like, bro, you got to make Freeman basically telling him you need to make the right choice.
Right.
And Dawson is saying, motherfucker, I've made my choice. So you going to either have to deal with it or don't. I've made my choice.
That's what sent his antennas up.
Right. Correct.
That's what sent his antennas up when he was talking like that, because it was too much of him dipping into that character.
Right. Correct.
And then catching himself like, okay, it's cool, but I heard what you just said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then, so now we get to the part where they jump that riot. Well, first of all, when they kill the team and Freeman and Dawson have that argument, the riot jumps off in the streets. Total chaos in Chicago and everything. So the white boy Willie and the rest of the crew, they said it was time to jump the war off. The first thing they do is blow up the mayor's office and say the mayor's office is now air conditioned.
Straight up.
I said that's some cold shit right there.
Straight up, man.
They air conditioned this shit.
Hey.
They said it's on. We started from the top. We blowing up his office.
Hey.
And the war starts. So they bring in the tanks. You know, they do the whole military invasion thing. They bring in the tanks, military people and stuff. But what the military didn't expect was how coordinated and well adapted these guys from the hood was through the CIA training from Freeman. Right. And when they came through them streets, they got mowed down, bro. Like roaches with raid, they got mowed down. It was kind of weird seeing that because I'm like, they got tanks, guns, and all of these explosives. And these dudes from the hood is just, they taking advantage of angles and heights and shit like that. They throwing grenades. They was ready for war. Freeman had them ready.
Yeah, because the average motherfucker that's not trained is go see that tape and get the Flintstone feet.
Go
get up out of here. Grab everything and get the fuck on.
That's for sure.
And they looking at it like, oh, we know exactly what to do with that.
Yeah. A tank is very intimidating if you think about it.
Fucking right. Do you know, like, these motherfuckers in the town, like, they shooting this shit, like, let a tank come down Broadway. It don't even got to hit the news.
It don't have,
like,
nope.
Like, let a tank come rolling down Broadway. It's going to hit East Oakland so motherfucking bad.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers going to be out there with camera work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah, don't let it be something on social media where it's showing footage. Tank coming down.
Yeah.
What?
The danger about a tank is like, it's already, you see it as impenetrable, but it's like, it could just be rolling straight down the street. Once that head, the gun head start to swivel, motherfuckers gonna start running.
You better believe it.
The funk is on.
You better
it's
believe
turning and aiming now.
Yeah. Yeah.
People's getting the fuck out of Dodge when they see it could be the hardest dude on the block. It could be 80 dudes on the block. They all running if that head of the gun starts swiveling their way. Nobody's that tough.
They get the fuck on when
they gone.
When they hear it.
Correct.
When they hear them wheels turning.
The change, yeah.
That motherfucker coming this way. Motherfuckers gonna get gone like they heard Godzilla coming.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
What?
So now, and this was a part of the movie, maybe you got their perspective. They break into a base again. They kidnapped the colonel and they put him in blackface. What do you think that was about? Because I'm like, what part of the game is that?
I forgot what he had said to him, but then remember they had vanilla alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And he was drunk. Then they painted his face black. And remember, it was martial law. So nobody could be outside. God should send to that outside, and so the people looking, they thought it was a black dude. Did they pop him?
Yeah. The military didn't pop him. The freedom fighters popped him.
Yeah.
Which was kind of weird. It's like, I thought the whole point was he could get shot by his own military. But they fucking sniped him from the roof. Like, there you go. We got him up out of here now.
Hey, y'all, we done blew up the mayor's office. Shot this motherfucker in his face. Now think about that. Think about how social media would be if they found a white politician dead with his face hanging black. That's deep. What? Do you know how fucking the terrorist alert would go up to red, right? No, hold on. You paint a motherfucker face black, a pop. It's already gonna be crazy from a politician, but you paint his face black.
Well, I mean, look at the hell that Drake caught when they caught them photos of him with the black face. He just a rapper, and they was like, "Oh, you one of them. You think this is funny, and because you have white."
And I forgot all about that.
Yeah, Drake, and it was real. Like, it wasn't like some fake shit or some internet shit. He painted his face black, but that's the mentality of somebody who's on the fence. He doesn't understand from a black perspective. That's disrespectful as fuck to do that. But because he's half black, half white, he thinks it's just something funny to do. There's nothing funny about that.
Hey, but not to get on that shit between him and Kendrick like that, but just real quick, motherfucker was asking what I thought about that, and I was like, when it's just like a boxing match, motherfucker hit you with certain blows, that scope determine whether you win or not. Yeah. I said, but one thing I fit the one word, I was like, the pedophile name, that's one. On the streets of motherfucker, you pedophile, you ain't a pedophile, get your ass beat. Yeah. It's a whole damn thing. That's like, but you called him a colonizer. And that brought me back to history class. And I was like, yo, like, how do you address that? You can't. And it's just like, he goes back to what motherfuckers asking about Jay and Nas. They like, I was like, Nas one. They like, nah, man, Jay. I said, he said one thing in that whole battle that just, you calling my crib and I didn't even in my numbers. I remember that. That's the ultimate weenie shit.
Right.
Why are you called? How did you get that number? How did you get in the basement?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, yeah, man, that's why I'm saying, back to what we talking about, man, paint a motherfucker face black. That's gonna be considered some new shit, a hate crime, or you know what I mean? It's gonna be
I'm glad you brought that up, because that going into the future, that's going to be seen almost like some Hitler type shit.
Man,
Yeah, paint somebody's face black.
that's different shit. That's terrorist acts,
Yeah,
like that, bro.
that's some different shit.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the white community would be living.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing. Like the black community be feeling a certain way. If a black politician got killed and his face got painted white.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just like, what does this mean?
yeah. What does that mean? So we get to the part now where the homie queen comes to visit Freeman one last time, and she tells him that she's sleeping basically with his old boss, and she tells him that his old boss talks about Freeman all the time, that he was his perfect nigga. And you could tell Freeman is holding in frustration and kind of anger of hearing that, because he kind of always knew it, that they thought of him that way, like a good nigga. But to hear her say that, he tells her that, pillow talking, oh, Freeman was a good nigga. Like, it definitely rubbed in the wrong way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But back to your point though, the homie queen was a important part of the movie, because she was dropping those type of gems. As opposed to Joy, his ex-girlfriend, she wasn't dropping no gems. She was dropping draws. Like,
Right. that's the
the homie queen was dropping gems.
right. That's the Joy is the pretty girl.
It's the pretty girl, right?
That to me,
Who wants to be taken care of by a doctor.
bingo. Like that's why to me, like, Lauryn Hill was so important to the hip hop game when she came out and did what she did with her album, because everything that's going on right now, like with female rappers and shit, she was telling them, on that you ain't got to do that.
Correct.
And she was looking bad.
Yeah, back then, Lauryn Hill was top notch.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, even in the 70s, when you look at it, like we talk about Bill, on guitars, the homie queen, they didn't have hella makeup on. You know what I mean? And she cut her hair off, so it's hella messages in that movie.
You know what's weird about it? Like, I watched about 5 movies within the last week from the 70s, and I almost shed a tear because it made me miss those times when women were real.
Absolutely.
We're so used to seeing huge asses that don't even look real, huge titties on women, super small waist, face done, nose implants, all this other shit that when I watch these movies, I'm like, that's what I grew up seeing a woman as.
Come on, man.
Full figured, nice shape.
Our mothers, our grandmothers,
all of them.
aunties and sisters, sister friends, and like it's
crazy. Because of course, because people gonna say, well, it was big women back then. We always had a big mom. There was always a big girl around.
Right.
But the majority of women around you were not big women. They were all 150, 140. Right. They were slim women. Women were slimmer back then, and they didn't even go to the gym.
Right.
They just didn't spend a lot of time sitting at home, desk jobs, eating and stuff like that. It was like women looked different in their natural form in the 70s. And if you look at art imitates life. If you look at all the movies back then, all of them were the same sizes. Right. Most of them were the same size. Like I said, maybe 150 pounds. A big woman would be 170 pounds, but you rarely see a 300-pound woman in the 70s. Like, you just didn't see that.
Right.
So when I watch these movies, I'm like, it took me back to like, damn, that was how women used to look. Even during the late 70s, early 80s, my mother was a big woman. She had got diabetes, stuff like that. She was like 240. Right. And that was a huge woman for them. Right. You got women now that's getting 300s, bro. They get 300 pounds plus. Yeah, that's kind of normal now.
Yeah, it's that food,
processed food.
Yeah, like shit is different. And like when I went to the Dominican Republic, I was just tripping off of, I didn't see no big chick out there. See? And what I noticed was when I was eating the food, it was a lot of meat and vegetables.
Yeah.
Like you really wasn't getting like a sandwich or like they might have some rice or something, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it was like meat, vegetables and shit like that. And I was just, and I at a certain point, I was just looking around, I'm looking at the female and I'm like, damn, even if they thick, they don't got no waist.
Yeah.
You know,
Correct.
they don't got no waist.
Waist still had a nice, size to it.
They ass might be hella big, and you, it's like them girls you look at, you like, she got to be a big girl. And then when she take it off, it's like, damn, bitch, I got no waist.
Right.
Yeah, just ass, hips.
Yeah.
Titties might not even be that big.
What they would call like just a full-figured woman, a normal full-figured woman.
Right.
And it's weird when you see these movies. It's like, it just makes you remember how women used to be. All the women I grew up with were, even the full-figured ones had a shape. Right. It was a shape.
Right.
And all that's kind of, changed over the years. It's kind of weird how that is. But anyway, we get to the part to where Freeman and his ex-girlfriend have an argument about the war. She's getting on his head about, well, you used to be like this and this and this and this and that. She basically
told him,
went to meet up with Dawson, tells Dawson everything he needs to know to put it together like, oh, my homie is the one who is doing all this shit. He's the leader. She snitched. Yeah, she snitched. So Dawson breaks into Freeman's house, waits for him with a gun. They have a confrontation. They talk to each other, tell each other whatever they're going to tell each other about the war and why this is happening and stuff like that. And basically, get into a fight. Freeman stabs Dawson. Yeah, Freeman stabs Dawson. Dawson shoots Freeman. So we don't know how that plays out in the end. And it was good. You think he was good? You happy at?
Because they had doctors.
That's true. That's true.
They had doctors that was coming to the house.
Yeah.
Because they set him up, I think.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he was good.
All planned out.
So Freeman kills his best friend, Dawson, calls the fellas over. They roll his ass up in I think a bed sheet or something, a blanket off the bed, a rug. Tell him to take his ass out. He basically, that's where he says the part you was talking about, where he tells him like, this is how serious I am about this shit. I wanted to kill my best friend for this war to happen, for us to get this balance back for black people against society, against the government, stuff like that. And if you ain't dedicated enough to do it like this,
you get the fuck home.
Get the fuck home.
That's great.
Yeah, that shit was serious.
Yeah,
it was serious.
It's the best teacher. I was watching The Godfather Part 3.
So good.
And
haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, they had the scene where Andy Garcia came in. I mean, the dudes came in trying to rob him or something. He was in there with shit.
Right.
And it was like, hey, let my friend go out and kill a chick. And he's like, I don't even know her. And so dude was like, pay attention to what I'm about to do. He shot him in the head. Boom. And dude, that was the example.
Yeah.
So that's the best teacher. Like for them, hey, what he said, he was like, that was your man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give a fuck about him. Yeah. The motherfucker ain't what we out. He got to go.
Right. I feel like Freeman knew at some point in time it might come to that. I think the whole time him and Dawson reconnected, he started hearing how Dawson was really feeling about this whole thing. I feel like he kind of knew like it might come down to me killing him because him's on the other side.
Right. It wouldn't come to that long as he don't know. Right.
Correct.
And he would never let him know who he is, but being at the business thing out. Fuck it. Yes, me and you. You know what I mean? And if it's coming down, you know what I'm saying? It's coming down to this, and I can't let you fuck up what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Under no circumstances.
Yeah. Because
as a leader of a group that he was leading that was very extremely militant, there's no better example he could have given than his dead best friend on the brain. Like, what else could you tell him? Like, this is how dedicated I am. Which also means I killed one of y'all motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Like, because you got to think about what the conversation would be with Dawson in the back of the car and they riding and taking stuff from somewhere.
You know, he
Like, man, he didn't kill that.
Yeah. Now, as a director, that would actually, I'm glad you brought that up. That would have actually been dope to see that on like a director's cut, the conversation that they would have dumping off Dawson's body about Freeman. Because you know they would have a lot of shit to say.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you know, it'd be a hell of a conversation.
But how it ended and how shit was happening, let you know that whatever it was effective.
Oh, yeah, the revolution started.
Yeah.
Because they say, the reporter says something like, we have a revolution going on in Oakland. It literally says Oakland.
Right.
So we know that's going into the Black Panthers, that's going into that whole situation. So whatever Freeman would try to do, it worked. It worked. So I'm glad they ended it that way because it's kind of like, oh, so we never get to see how it all played out. We just know that the revolution started in every city that Freeman wanted it to start in.
Nobody can show me a gangster movie or just a movie that's fucking with that movie like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
A serious movie.
With the message. Like, because think about it. That wasn't even I don't even think that was a real story.
No, it was. It was not.
The one Mario Van Peebles and
oh, that one. Yeah. The one that I think came out 95 or 96.
Yeah. It's not even fucking with that.
You know, not at all.
But me and somebody was just talking about me and a brother that was talking about those. You know, we started talking about Black Panther, the Marvel guy. And he had brought something to my attention about how he made it where it showed people coming in trying to steal from.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, you have to, especially dealing with a big corporation like that, like Disney and whatever the fuck, to get that type of shit green lighted, and get it off, like that's very clever. And like, you know what I'm saying? That's very clever to do that. Like,
very. Freeman tells Dean as they're leaving, he says, you keep fighting until you win or until you're dead. That's how serious that shit ended, just like that. Which means you never stop fighting. You never stop fighting. They have to put you in the ground as a corpse before you stop fighting. So, yeah, I feel like
don't stop.
It ain't it. And I feel like that was the one time when they saw Dawson dead and he said that line, that's when they finally got the total picture of how serious shit actually. It's a different when you run around shooting at people because y'all in a group and y'all militant and all that other shit. When you get that one-on-one when he shows you with his dead homie on the ground that he killed, and he tells you, you do not ever stop fighting until they kill you. Then it hits a little bit different. It's like, I might die doing this. Yeah, you might die doing this. Hey, you might die.
Because,
matter of fact, it's a high chance you're going to get killed doing this.
Yeah, because they send your ass to the war. That's
it's the same thing. Bloods and Crips. You hear motherfuckers say all the time, like when they join these gangs, they know every day might be their last day. But they know it, and they still do it. And that's kind of on you making a conscious choice to join something that might end your life.
Yeah, like jail gangs.
Same thing.
Yeah. You come up in here, okay, you under the protection, but we tell you to go poke dude over there, that's what better happen.
Yeah, you got to do it. Or you're next.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We going out with guns and we're going to shoot something up. You better come back with your clip in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, what I like about that whole shit is just about planning from A to Z. Son, focus. Yeah. Like, when you read a book like The 48 Laws of Power, say plan from A to Z. Yeah.
From a scale of 1 to 10, 7 being a good movie, 8 being a great movie, 9 being an excellent movie, and 10 being a classic, perfect movie. What you get?
11.
Okay. Okay.
Mike.
So explain why you give it an 11.
Because because like I say, we got to factor in again the technology they had, the script, the story, you know what I'm saying?
Which is based off a novel.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And how they walked the whole film down and how effective they was with their shots and, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the whole shit, because the book was better than the film. It's always,
Yeah, because it's more detailed.
Yeah. But it's just, again, we won. Or the movie went off and we won.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I went off.
And since that movie, I haven't seen anything where we won. You know,
just enough point.
I haven't seen anything where we won. You know?
Well, you mean where we won fighting against the man, basically? Out the battle.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we always get.
Do they even make movies now where you fight against the man? I don't even think I think it's still taboo. I think because of the government, because of the power of the government, power this, power that.
Didn't they just make Civil War?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, though.
But I haven't seen it either. But I don't think it was like how hard this movie was.
Well, okay, like, it ain't even gotta be the man, but just the system. Like,
yeah, the system.
Yeah, correct. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and then now they're like, what is the man?
right?
You're like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, we don't know who's the puppet master.
We don't know. We don't know who pulling the strings.
Right. You know?
Last time I heard, it was only like 5 families that's running the whole world.
You see what I'm
So,
so it's just like, I'm with anything that I feel that's wrong or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's a loophole that's found to do that, you know what I'm saying? I'm with that shit.
okay.
Like, it's both, like, because at the end of the day, when you do music and you do movies and shit, that's art.
Correct.
Teach through art. That's how you have time to shit, you know what I'm saying? Like the music we listen to, it taught us. Like, we're talking about a movie that you heard a motherfucker say in a rap song.
Mm-hmm.
And you happen to be working at the movie store and come home with the motherfucking movie, and now we done seen it, and here it is, years later, we dissecting the movie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That, you know, it's not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's teaching through art. Yeah. When you listen to the music from back in the day, it's like, take that song, woman to woman.
Right.
Very much relevant to this thing. Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? But you don't hear, like they talk about dudes, you know what I'm saying? You don't hear dudes talk about they in love no more.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, they got that song, Heaven Must Be Missing the Ink. Yeah. You walk up to a woman in the grocery store and say, dear great, heaven must be missing the ink. She go, even if she don't fuck with you, you're gonna get talked about. So yeah, you should like, we should have made this motherfucker at the store. You know what he told me today, girl? He said, heaven must be this. What did he look like? You know, off of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I just like movies that, again, that I like shit that teaches through art.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would rate it probably a 9.5.
because you don't know how they got in that base.
So I don't know how to. That's what I mean. And the joy part. Joy character is kind of like. I can't get, as a director, as a filmmaker, I can't get over the fact that they put her in the movie so many times.
Right.
Just to have her snitch at the end. You could have still had her snitch at the end, but not put her in the movie 4 different times. Like, she could have been in 2 times, and 2 other times could have explained how they got on the army base. Like, they could have used that time better to explain certain situations.
Well, you gotta think the first time was the introduction.
Right. The second time was when she told him she was marrying the doctor dude.
Well, okay.
The third time was, might have been the argument. No, they met before the argument. The third time was them just talking in either her house or his house. Yeah, it was the third time because Dawson came over. That's when Dawson was like, oh, y'all two still can't let each other go. She gave Dawson a kiss on the mouth, which was weird.
That was crazy.
And gave Freeman a kiss on the mouth.
That was crazy.
I'm like, oh, did she get down like that?
Is that how they fuck with him?
We know all 3 of y'all's college, buddies, but damn. So that was the third time. That last time, matter of fact, it was 5 times. She had the one scene with her and Dawson. And that's when she snitched and told Dawson what dude was thinking, what Freeman was thinking. And then the last time was her and Freeman, where they had a big argument. And that was kind of the last time we saw her on the screen. So she was on screen 5 times. They could have cut it down to 2.
And got the same message across?
Got the same exact message across.
Well, that would have been the introduction, but then we would have got the doctor scene where she said,
correct.
We wouldn't have got that. The next scene would have just been seeing her telling on Dawson.
Well, let's just say 3 scenes. Instead of 5, they could have put her in 3.
Right.
And then that would have been fine with me. Because it was still ended up with her snitching in one of the scenes to Dawson. So her objective would have still gotten done in 3 scenes. Because I feel like that very first scene, her introduction, was unnecessary because she was an unnecessary. Like, why do we have to know that she was his college sweetheart? Like, why do we even have to know all that? She could have came in the scene 2. Scene 2 could have been her introduction to where she could have been like, I just got married to a doctor, but I still want to smash. Like, it could have just been that simple. Like, he doesn't please me like you, or he's always away for work. Right. And I have my needs and I only trust you. So blah, 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 blah. Like, that could have been her introduction.
Right.
I feel like the first introduction was like, why even put her in the movie just to say she's his college sweetheart? He smashes and it just fade away. That was like 3 minutes of kind of wasted time.
What I like about the shit is, as a director, you know what I'm saying? He did it how he did it or whatever. And some motherfuckers be so much of a perfectionist, they ain't even go put it out. You know what I mean? They ain't even go put it out. So for him to even just take the jump shot, I mean, fucking with it. You know what I mean? And it's like, that goes back to what I was talking about with the music. It's like the perfectionist shit. It's just like, did he get the job done? I'm looking at it like that. And it's like,
the message definitely was given.
It was trouble.
He hit it dead on the nail, 100%. We got the message. We got it.
Right.
So he was right in that aspect.
So like, so it's like, it's kind of like a hoop player. Like, he had a game and maybe he didn't shoot the ball. Like, we look at Joker.
Okay.
Like, this motherfucker can get 20, 15, and 9. And motherfuckers would be like, yeah, he had a bad game. Really? You got a motherfucker coming off the bench giving you the, you know what I mean? The average motherfucker giving you that, like, that is crazy.
That's crazy.
So it's like, is it really a bad game or is it really a good game? You know what I mean? But we so used to seeing him put up them type of numbers, you know what I mean? So the same thing like with movies, like, now that the technology then grew so much, we'll look at certain shit and be like, okay, well, he could have, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't have him in resource. But I feel you because he's still staying. How did you get into that base?
Yeah, how did you get into the base? Yeah. That's all I want to know.
That's a pivotal situation right there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because that played a part in you fighting the war.
Yeah.
So if you go...
You don't even win the war if you don't get on the base.
Yeah, so if you go drop jewels on us, drop everything. Yeah, let us know. Yeah. Point us in the right... If we felt like we wanted to move like this, yeah, how could we, you know?
See, that's why it's important for all film directors to have director's cuts, because you could put those in the director's cuts on DVD later, so they can see it later.
That's tough.
And you have an explanation of why you didn't put it right. But you can at least see that. Yeah, deleted scenes. But at least you can show them that we did think about it and we did shoot. Right. We just couldn't put it in the movie because of time restraints, whatever it could have been and stuff. Right. But I don't like having the fact that you didn't show how they got to the base, and going back to Dawson's bed on the scene.
Fire. Bro, I knew you was gonna give him a 9. Like,
I go to 9.5. I go to 9.5, but it wasn't a perfect movie because of those things.
Right.
But I'm bringing it on the curve because once again, it's 1973, so we can't expect all bases to be covered. It's an independent film. A black person making the film. It's a taboo subject, fighting against the government. There's a lot of things going against everybody trying to make this film.
You got me. I'm gonna pull that motherfucker up and see that this.
You might. The thing about this particular movie, it's a movie that you might have to watch like 5 to 6 times in a row to make sure you caught everything. That's how smart it was, screenplay wise. It's very smart.
How did you get in that base, man?
Because, like Lauryn Hill, going back to Lauryn, like Lauryn Hill said in one of her raps, I say the word motherfucker so ignorant niggas hear me.
Bingo.
So in this movie, they use the word nigga a lot to kind of distract you from what they actually trying to do in the movie. That's the one thing I've noticed as a filmmaker. I'm like, they say it a lot, maybe a little bit too much, but it's because it's distract you from what's really going on in the movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is government takeover, government takeover, stuff like that. It's the same reason why they started crypto and Bitcoin and stuff. Right. Government involved in your finances too much. So people tired of that shit. So it's getting to a point where people are fighting back financially, with camera phones, filming the police, beating people, stuff like that. These are things that you wouldn't have ever thought would have happened 20 years ago. Right. People actually fighting back against the system, quote unquote.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Our kids are being ready to stand up when shit ain't right.
Right.
We were more or less raised to be like, man, just go, don't fuck up your money.
Turn a cheek.
Don't rock the boat. If you got a good job, don't rock the boat. This generation is like, fuck a job. We gonna shut down the Bay Bridge if we got to protest some shit. We could be working at Google making $200,000 a year. They will lose a job to shut down the bridge and protest some shit in Israel or whatever and stuff. Their mentality is different. But in 1973, you could damn near go to jail or be killed for making art this serious. Right? A very serious time in the world. Like,
right.
People really don't understand, especially people that wasn't born in the 70s. They don't understand how serious the 60s and the 70s were.
Yeah.
And you could come up missing talking about the CIA and the government. Dude, we lost Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Bobby Kennedy within a span of some years. Black people were like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on? Everybody we looked up to is being killed. Now, years later, we found out that it was inside job with Malcolm X and things that was happening with that. But not with Martin Luther King and not with Bobby Kennedy. They got killed. That was
I was just about to say that again. With Kennedy, they let you know.
Yes.
Yes. So we let one of these motherfuckers get up in here and try to do some shit.
It is stained in the brain of every person in America that don't get too uppity because they killed Kennedy. How many rappers have said that in a rap song? They killed Kennedy. Or I'm gonna snipe you like Kennedy. It's never gonna leave our mind that they killed him on live TV. They killed a sitting president on live TV just to prove their point that this is how far the Freeman theory, this is how far we're willing to go to show you we not fucking around.
We'll do this thing. You know what we're doing.
We know, he split his head wide open in front of his wife, in front of the world. So it's like, I feel like we'll all go to our graves. Me and you weren't even born when that shit happened.
Correct.
And look how it affects us, that we know that we can't ever get too wild with this shit. Cause that's what could happen. But we weren't even born then.
Cause I was tripping off of, like, I seen this meeting between Barack and Pro. And the mics was on. And I guess they didn't know the mics was on. And Barack kept telling Putin, they just going right there. I gotta get reelected. And Putin was like, what? He was like, yeah, I gotta get reelected before I can. And I was like, wow.
That's deep.
Yeah. And that's the whack the dog shit. Yeah. And so it's fucked up because, like, not to get to politics all like that, but when I was watching that debate, the shit was hilarious because it was just two motherfuckers just going at it. And I was just looking at it like, my boy put up a post. He was like, don't get it fucked up. He was like, Trump, he ain't saying the right words. The message was there.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and it's like, it's fucked up because when you look at Joe Biden, it's like, there's no way that man should be up there. You know what I mean? So it's like we boxed in.
Yeah.
But, like,
both choices are horrible choices.
Right, period. Right. Prince said, I ain't got no horses in that race. You know what I mean? So I don't run voting. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like,
I don't get mad at people when they say, I don't vote. I understand.
Right.
Because you just vote for the lesser evil. But they really got a good choice.
Right. And it's like, I seen them motherfuckers manipulate votes.
Yeah, of course. We've all seen it.
Yeah, I don't want you to waste my time.
Yeah, that whole Florida thing and all. Yeah, we know how they can manipulate that shit.
And so it's just like,
but this being the main ingredient, the name of the show, we always ended with asking our guests, what is the main ingredient, in your opinion, that made this movie a blockbuster hit? Which you gave it an 11. What was the main ingredient, the main thing, the one main thing that made it an 11 to you? That could be the screenplay, the characters,
the message.
The message.
Okay, it's the message purely, right?
Okay,
the message and the execution.
Okay,
because like I said, we still gonna keep saying how you get in that base. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like, if we was teachers, right, a student, right, that student would pass.
Right.
Because it's like, you know, the message is there. And when we talk about, like, the intricate details of him walking that whole plate down.
Right.
Like, from him being a black belt, you know what I mean? That means this was a thought in his mind, probably in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But being that they had just started integrating, that mean that play wasn't even in his head. And yeah, you know what I mean? So that had to be calculated, like, just in case if this happens, you know what I'm saying? But that's a different thing too, because back in the days in the 70s, like, the dope dealers, the cool shit was knowing karate.
Yeah, it was more karate.
You know what I'm saying? It was
that was major.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
that was major.
Yeah,
I'm going to back you up on that and say that's also my main ingredient is the message. Now, this was potent. It was powerful. It was for that time right on time, and it's seared in my mind until they put me in the grave. I'm always going to remember this particular movie and what it said to me, what it meant to me. Like, I'll never forget this movie, right? I'll never forget this movie, no matter what. So I'm on the same boat with you. Like, it's the message.
Yeah, because now when we think about that, it has to be the message every time.
Yeah,
because
with a movie like this, yeah, it has to be.
Because you take a movie like Transformers,
right?
I'm not going to watch Transformers for no message.
Correct.
But they throw a message in there.
They do.
You know what I mean? Just like Black Panther, I really wasn't going for a message.
No.
But they threw one up in there. You know what I mean? And I fuck with that. You know? But it's like it's certain movies I go to see the theatrics and the you know what I mean? The effects. You know what I'm saying? Like when they came out with Avengers. It was like, man, Thanos, man, he throw the sun at the... What? You just sold the ticket.
What's his pure? You're going for pure entertainment.
Period.
But when you go see Malcolm X, you want the message.
Yeah, because it's still a lot of shit that, no, they did. Because now what do we give that movie?
Yeah, you know, and that's on the list. We have to go do that.
Yeah, what do we give that movie? Because that movie was like 3 hours long.
Yeah, it was over 3 hours.
You see what I'm saying? So
when you over 3 hours,
now we would have to grade that so different because it's like, yeah, 3 motherfucking hours to hit everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you fuck with the Bob Marley movie?
Not yet. I haven't seen the Bob Marley movie.
Okay, yeah. I want when you see that, let's have a conversation about that.
You will.
And tell me what you think, because I went into it.
What is it? It's called Bob Marley? What's it called?
One Love.
One Love. Okay, One Love.
When I went into it, because I read the autobiography. And so, you know, I'm going in, they just see it, you know what I mean? And how they did it, I was like, am I fucking with that? Like, you know what I mean? When I be talking to people, that like a lot of people like, I don't like it. It didn't have a lot of good reviews. Yeah, gotta say. That's why I definitely want it. And then see, call me, Miss.
That's really the only reason why I didn't rush out to see when it came out, because like I always wait after movies come out to see what the reviews are, and I didn't get any positive reviews. Not only the tabloids, but even people I know that saw it was kind of like,
But it's the same thing like when I read Yelp reviews.
Correct.
Yeah. What are you complaining about?
Yeah.
Are you saying the food nasty? Was the service fucked up? Did somebody piss you off? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just different shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And
sometimes some people put Yelp, you know, bad Yelp reviews because they're just having a bad day.
Bingo.
They got nothing to do with the restaurant.
Bingo.
So they walked in there pissed off.
Right. And so the bad reviews that I was hearing about the movie, they was like, oh, well, they didn't touch on this and they should have touched on this. Gotta see it. Like, you know, and see what they did with that. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. You know what I mean? Cause it wasn't an autobiography. You know what I'm saying? Because even like when we talk about Straight Outta Compton, what do we give that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's a lot of shit I felt like, you know what I'm saying? They left some shit out that I would have wanted to see, but they got the message. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
Okay. Well, you know, IZRELL, I want to thank you for coming through.
Man, you know, you family.
We definitely gonna look back up again. We got a pair of movies. Yeah. We gonna look back up again and do it again. But tell them where they can find you at.
Yeah, man, just catch me on Instagram, IZRELL, you know what I'm saying? Hit me at that, you know what I'm saying? Facebook, you know, IZRELL, Mr. Town Morris, you know what I'm saying? You can go to the link in my bio on my Instagram and everything is there. Okay, the music there, the videos, you know what I'm saying? Different accounts and shit like that. And I got a lot of shit coming, you know what I mean? I've been cooking.
Okay. I know you have, Lan. I know you have.
Yeah.
I know you have. I can't wait to hear it. I know you have.
For sure.
Thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right. That'll be it, everybody. I'm your host, Chris Ellis, and this is The Main Ingredient with Chris Ellis. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Already.